Mhm.
So welcome to day 10 of our Canada payroll. So last time we have seen the time from a time management perspective, what are the different rules are available in your from a payroll point of view, like absence valuation, different counting classes. And these are more related to time management and all. Today's topic
Mm.
also it is more interrelated to the time type. So you'll be seeing like what are the different time waste types, different waste type selection, how to select those waste types. Okay, how waste types that get generated, and towards the end I'll be showing the system like how these things you can manage. Okay, so I'll be giving one business case here, so where exactly we can use time management, your time and time waste time. Okay, so let's say you're working for an organization, say the 50 days organization, the Best Travel Canada, and you are working as a payroll administrator. Okay? So you might have different queries like when does the overtime start for a particular employee, how many hours overtime is actually paid and what at what rate. Okay, so if the employee is working on a weekend, and does the employee have to work on the weekend? So there are different depending upon these queries. You will be having processing those. You will be having data corresponding those queries for each and every employee. Okay. So to pay the employees those overtime and all, there should be some relevant time waste types. Okay, so which we have already previously seen, like there are time some waste type, or we call it time type. Okay, so that we can configure. So how to manage those time waste type, we will be seeing here. Okay, there is an info type called 2010. Okay, so that is also called employee remuneration information. Okay, so that can
Mm.
be used for your any kind of this working hours. Man, either can be time related to wastage, it can be maintained here in the input 2010. Otherwise, if you are using time sheet, so there is a different application for time sheet. Generally time sheet is not part of your this payroll, but again
Mm.
we call something called CATS, cross application time sheet, CATS, cross application time sheet. Okay, that we use in the on-premise CP payroll. So that is a part of time management. As soon as you enter your timing, like suppose in my organization also we use time sheet because we are not a punch in punch out system. We do not have a punch in punch out system. Also these days,
Mm.
as we are working from home, so we have
Mm.
a target like every project code against whatever project I'm working. So we call it WBS element, like our breakdown structure. We have a specific engagement code or a project code for that. So I have to enter 8 hours against that particular project code every day. Okay, so that is how you enter the time sheet and all. And suppose if you are working for a multiple projects, say 2 or 3 projects you are working parallelly. Okay, so accordingly you have
Mm.
to split your timing, 8 hour or 9 hours. Split whatever hour you have worked. Accordingly, your time will be time sheet. It will your project cost it will be distributed and all. There are a lot of applications are there, but that is not
Mm.
directly related to your payroll. So payroll will
Mm.
see only thing is whether you have whatever the hour number of hours you have maintained, whether that has been maintained properly or not. Okay, that it will be checking. And otherwise, if you are not using time sheet, then otherwise you can use this 2010 input type. Okay, so there are two different ways of allowing this. It system will allow to enter those time related information, time related waste types. Okay, that is the concept here. Okay, so here this diagram will explain like how these things actually happen. Okay, inside the system. Okay, so you will see in the top, you as a time consultant or as a time administrator or a leave administrator, you will be preparing those data. Okay, it can be absence data or it can be attendance data. Okay, so in this right hand side you will be seeing there is something called plan time pair. Okay, what is a time pair? So there is a according to TAGP. TAGP means actually there is in the time management model there is a specific thing. Okay, so which actually form a time pair. Okay, suppose let's say you are having using punch in punch out system, or even in you are using whenever you're logging in the system, you enter a time like today's my login time is this much and my log off
Mm.
time is this much. Okay, so accordingly, so system will frame a time pair. Okay, suppose I my today's morning time I've logged in at 8:30 in the morning, and I logged out at 5:30 p.m. in the evening. Okay, so what system will do, it will take those time in data and time out data. It will form a pair. So the time pair it will form, and accordingly it will calculate your number of hours, and the system will do that. That is from a data preparation point of view. Suppose let's say if you're working, you forgot to swipe out, or you forgot to enter your timeout data for a particular
Mm.
reason. then system will give an error. In the next day, whenever your time administrator will be running a report, it will say this many employees have not entered your timeout data, or this many employees have not entered any time in data. Okay, so you'll be getting those alert to maintain those data. Otherwise, you will be it will lead to some kind of discrepancies. Whenever it can be you considered as an absence, or it can be some kind of, depending upon your organization requirement. Okay, so for that reason, it is maintained. So it is always better to maintain those uh, time set on a regular basis if it is a part of your scenario. Okay, so that is regarding your preparation of the data. So it can be absences. Absences means your leaves. Okay, so suppose it can be sick leave, it can be privilege leave. What are the different types of leaves you have created? Okay, same goes with your attendances on. Okay, so these are the three different types of time data we'll be entering, and after entering, then you have to classify those timing. In the second step, what it will do, so whether it will be considered planned, whether it is a planned working time. A planned working time means like your company will be having specific time schedule like 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Okay, so it will consider that as a planned working time. Similarly for breaks, okay, so from many of the organizations, they have also decided this should be a break time like 12:30 to 1:30. Okay, so that is a break time. Okay, so it may happen. I have seen this kind of setup in the manufacturing setup. Otherwise, breaks are generally not considered. It's a kind of paid break and all. Okay, so if somebody is swiping out the system and going outside, say more than if it is 15 minutes or 30 minutes, then system will count those things. Okay, those kind of activity generally manufacturing and automobile sector I have seen. Okay, otherwise break is not that much very important. So
This thing we also update in info type 7.
so input type 7, that is a planned working time. So that is a work schedule rule. Okay. So where exactly you will be finding like 8 hours or 9 hours, that planned working time will maintain it. And if you're deviating someday from that schedule and all, system will give an alert. Okay. While running the payroll, okay, you will be getting those kind of alert. By default, it will take planned working time, whatever you have maintained. Okay. Similarly, a system is intelligent enough to calculate your overtime as well, depending upon how you have configured. Okay, it will calculate your respective overtime and all. So once it is done, then you have to select your time waste type. So once the classification is done, system will be able to select your specific time waste type, and accordingly, finally it will compensate depending upon your overtime calculations and all. Okay, so it will compensate here. So this is the overall structure or overall understanding how the time waste type is actually selected. Okay, so it is not specific to Canada payroll, it is generic. Okay, so it is generally part of the time management concept, but I try to explain here so that you'll be able to understand. Okay, but for more understanding, you can explore the time management module, how this thing's happening inside the time management module. Okay, so this thing last time also I have explained you. There is a standard subschema called TC00, and there is a function which is called DAYPR. Okay, which actually inside the system it calculates by using this RP time 00. This is your program which you can schedule, and it will calculate your time balances. It will update your specific quotas and all. Okay, so that is the thing. This is your time schema which you can go through. Not similar to your time this only. So inside your schema you'll be seeing something DAPR. Okay, so which I was talking about, DAYPR TC00. That is your daily processing of the time data. Okay, so it is actually to process your daily time data. So how these things actually it will calculate. So this is another diagram. Actually, I today actually try to give more diagram so that you will be actually visualize instead of theory. Okay. So in this diagram, if you see, there is a planned timing. So suppose a planned time is your 8 o'clock in the morning to 5 p.m. in the evening. Okay, so that is your planned times, which is indicated by S in the work schedule. Okay, but due to some reason you got an additional work, you have to stretch and you work till 7 p.m. Okay, that is your extra. Okay, depending upon your time recording terminal, or it can be manual entry. So that is your planned time plus actual time. Actual time you have what? Say 8 o'clock in morning to say your 7 p.m. in the evening. Okay. So accordingly, system will process, and how system will understand by using the concept of processing type. So processing type is planned time is whatever it is there. If it is exceeding, then system will understand it is a M. The indicator will be extra additional indicator, which is your M indicator. It will consider that. Okay. So those things more detail you'll be getting in this specific log. Okay. Inside that log, there is some table called TIP TZB. these are all deep concept of time management. Okay, so if you go inside those tables, then you will be finding this table tip is actually for time pairing. Okay, so time pairing is actually used for your time. So processing time M, that is for your overtime calculation, and I was saying your S is processing time, S is for your planned working time. Okay, so that is your time. Just a minute, I'm okay. So whenever if you're using time recording, so time pair how it will calculate. So depending upon your processing time, for indicator there is a processing type actually S, which is meant for your planned working time. Okay, so it will indicate the whatever I explained in the diagram. Okay, similarly M will be whenever you will see an indicator for processing time M, that will be your overtime. Okay, and these are stored inside your time pair, that is your tip table. Okay, so this is the concept for your time management perspective, how internally system calculates. And there is something called, there is an info type for 2005. Okay, so it is not now, no longer has been used, because previously whenever this functionality was not there, we used to, even I have never used it. Okay, when I started my career at that point of time itself, it was obsolete. So even if the info type is there 2005, you never ever use that. Okay? So that is never used.
So in place of that, what we use?
Sorry,
In place of info type 205.
2005. Huh? Suppose if you're
Yeah.
not using time record, suppose you're not having time recording machine, okay, so then you can use it. But if you're using time recording at the same time, you should not use this overtime info type. Okay, this is for whom actually, if you're not using this, who are not using time recording machine. Okay, suppose you're not using time recording or time set and all. So then you can use it. If it is a manual process, it's a tedious process, so people do not like it. Okay, so like, but if you are not using those time recording and all, still the functionality is still there. You can still use it, but it is not recommended one. Okay, so this is the concept here. This is regarding your time type and time recording and all. Okay, so regarding this, so you'll be seeing, so these are more detail about it. Like we'll be exploring more into the tip table, and these are not actually part of your payroll, but inside this how this function works and all those diagram I try to capture here, how this hourly wage type will be calculated.
So this tip is need to be copied from somewhere, or it will be auto updated.
This is actually the TC00, which schema I told you, right? Those from there actually, actually you will not be doing this thing. So generally the time consultant he will be doing. Okay. So once they do it, and only thing is from a payroll perspective, you have to test it. Okay. How this the calculation is whether it is happening correctly or not. Okay. From that point of view, you have to test it only. So for that reason, actually you require at least the basic understanding. Nothing much is required. This detail, whatever I have mentioned it will be helpful if you are exploring time management in the future. But from a payroll consultant, I have never seen this people go such deep. Okay, just for your understanding, I have included, but actually it is not required. Okay? So how this time waste type it will calculate and all. Okay, this is not much. That much is required. Day grouping, all these details actually not required. Rule grouping, your time waste type selection, overtime bonus, overtime shift. Okay, so these are not that much required. All are time related concept. Okay. So with this, let me go to another topic. Okay. So now, this is an important concept. Okay. How actually this time and payroll are connected. Okay. So how they are integrated, I will explain here. So as I was mentioning, the time evaluation program. Okay. So RP time 00. Okay. Those programs, whenever you are using the time evaluation program, if you're scheduling. Okay. So in a particular period, say, so first off, suppose my time in this diagram, if you see, I will just explain. So in this diagram, if you see in the time evaluation, when it happened, suppose whenever the 1st of June to 20th of June, okay. So let's say you're running the time evaluation. So there are many cluster tables, there are internal, so many tables are there. You do not have to remember it. GL, C1, ALP, there are many types of tables are there. Okay. And then at the same time, 20th of June to 30th of June, you have something called time waste time selection in the payroll. Okay. So this is actually the 1st June to 20th of June. Actually, it is we have already run those regular basis. The time evaluation program has been run on a regular basis. But from 20th of June to 30th of June, due to some reason, you have maintained manually, or you have maintained those time wasted selection in the payroll. You have used it. Okay. So what payroll will do, payroll will be considering both. Okay, so whatever the depending upon your scenario, payroll will be executing both, depending whether it is a time evaluation or the time wasted selection in the payroll. System will check both the check, and it will actually run those depending upon your whatever the master data you have maintained. Okay, suppose here in the payroll status, that is input type 3, which I expressed during our initial or day 2 or day 3, we have explained like earliest MD change is suppose say 21st of June. Okay, so what it will do till then, if you're maintaining this, okay, so system will consider 1st of June to 20th of June. Okay, so that is that before that it will not system consider. So this is just a concept like how you can manage all this time evaluation and time waste type via and how it will be connected to your payroll. Okay, depending upon that, this scenario will be working. So time evaluation and payroll are both are connected. Okay, so both are integrated in a typical system. Okay, so you'll be finding the what I'll be explaining here now. So the internal table which I was talking about, ZL, C1, and ALP. Okay, so these are actually nothing but interfaces. Okay, so which I was telling ZL, we have seen ZL, C1, ALP. These are actually interface. Okay, so interface between the time and your payroll. Okay, so what it will contain? So Z1, ZL will contain your time waste type, whichever you have discussed, right? So those are the different time waste type it will update. And similarly C1. So C1 actually contain your data which are relevant to your cost assignment. Okay, so like it can be a specific which cost. So suppose you are working in a project, that cost will be, suppose you are working in two different projects. Okay, and each will be having a cost allocation. Okay, so different cost will be assigned. Suppose you are working 50% in a training department, you are 50% you are working in a recruiting. Okay, so both are having, suppose say let's say two different cost center. Okay, so how those costs will be distributed? Okay, so that will be, those relevant data will be coming into C1. That is a complex table, internal table. That's called C1, which will contain those data. And similarly, we have ALP. ALP will be containing the data for the different payment. Suppose it can have there are different types of payment. So it can be some other types of payment. Due to some reason, you have to pay extra money. Okay. So those types of detail will be there. There are different three types of interfaces, internal table between your time evaluation and the payroll. Okay. So these are the things. So here, one thing you have to remember: if payroll runs before the end of the evaluation period, time evaluation can only transfer the time wasted period up to this time. Okay. So for the remaining period, payroll system uses the work schedule and time type management input types already available to generate for the non-evaluated interval. So in this scenario, if you see, as I was explaining, time evaluation actually we have run it till 20th of June. Okay. And due to some reason, you are not, suppose you are running payroll on 22nd or 23rd. So what will happen those remaining 8 days? So system will consider by default these are present, and it will consider whatever those planned work schedule or time waste type will consider as present. Then accordingly it will calculate. In this way, this calculation will happen. And again, suppose there is some adjustment is happening in this particular period, say 20 to 30. Okay. Then again in the next month, next cycle, it will consider those changes. Okay. So anyway, system supports retroactive accounting. Any changes is happening in the backdated thing, system will recalculate those differences, and though it can be positive difference or it can be negative difference. So accordingly, in the next payroll cycle, it will adjust those amounts. Okay, so from that point of view, SAP is very much prominent. So it will be very much capable of doing those kind of is one of the key feature of SAP payroll. Okay. So those things will be calculated inside your payroll schema. So here you can see. So this is all about when payroll generates this time waste tax. It sets retroactive accounting in the earliest master data change. Okay. So like system will automatically set like your earliest master data will be 21st of June, and accordingly system will not touch your 1st of June to 20th of June because you've already done payroll for that time evaluation. Okay. System will automatically change your input type 3. Okay. Accordingly, system will behave in this way. Okay. So these are the different concepts related to your time related waste type. Okay. So as we are having time,